Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video we're going to cover pullovers. I'm going to show it on a flat bench as well as with a foam roller, and the target muscles are the muscles along your spine, the rector spinae muscles, as well as your abs. When you start to do alternating, then that gets also into the obliques. So it's one of those poses that really challenges us to stay neutral because we're reaching the arms overhead, we're laying down, and it can really want to go toward a back bend, which may or may not be dangerous just depending on your body, but you want to contain the posture, the exercise, and enhance your length and your strength. So we'll get started. So I've got my weight set to 12 pounds, and that might, again, you can always adjust for amount of weight. If they're too light, we're not going to get beyond the arms. The arms are going to want to take over, and I really need to motivate, number one, the right muscular focus, as well as stability. So as long as the arms can take over, then they have a chance that the arm bones will not be grounded in the shoulder joints and connecting to all these muscles all around the torso. Okay, so I've got my weights here. I'm going also to set this up so that I can reach my arms overhead without risk of hitting the wall. And I'll try to, when I come up, to remember to not kick my little table here. But I always start out reaching the arms up and also simultaneously trying to hug those arm bones in the shoulder joints. Okay, I want to keep my spine neutral, my legs participating. If I have my feet on the ground, then more than likely I'm going to be in too much of a back bend, and I really don't want to be there. So I want to be here, plugged in, okay? And I have just a ton of flexibility in my shoulders, so I really have to monitor that so that I have stability. At first, I'm going to let the weights touch, whoops, with my elbows slightly bent. Okay, really just reaffirming the length in my spine, and then carefully. Okay, so as my weights start to go overhead, I'm engaging my abs. So incrementally I'm going overhead and monitoring the length, the organization of my spine. I want to make sure I feel really stable here. Okay, so I don't want my arms to take over. This is not the arm focused exercise. Okay, this is back muscles, sides, abs. So I tend to go into something and then hold it and seek out the awareness, okay, reaffirm the organization, and then bring it back up. So I would probably limit, so when I'm here, I'm not in my, I'm not in any real work, okay, so I want to stay in the work zone of the pose, of the exercise. I always call things poses. Okay, so reaching overhead and then coming up midway. And when I feel like I'm on the edge of letting it go, I go right back into the exercise. So this is doing it with both arms simultaneously. Okay, you could also alternate. Okay, but I'm really trying to keep as much length in my arms, okay, as much length in my spine, connecting to my abs, the back muscles. The shoulders will be participating. You know, everything is working together. But again, if I'm trying to get to the larger muscles, I don't want the arms to take over. When I'm done, I bring the weights together, back in, and then again, you can decide what's your best, what's your best entry, what's your best exit. I don't want to just set the weights down because that would more than likely unground my shoulder joints. Okay, so that is with the bench. Next, we're going to do foam roller. So with the foam roller, it's a great tool to stay aware. It gives you a lot of reference as far as your spinal alignment. I love it. Okay, I have it on a lot of videos. I have my weights handy so that when I lay down, they'll be convenient and my elbows will connect with the ground. I'm setting it up so that I pick it up where the this part of the handle, okay, is out, and this part is here, so that when I touch the weights to each other, it's not going to make my weights, my stackable weights, not stable, just in case you're using those. I also like to imagine that I have a block between my thighs so that I'm just very motivated, very aware to keep those center lines parallel, from the middle toes to the center of the ankles, knees, hips. Also, when I lay down, so I'm just going to get that out of the way, I want to make sure that I don't go too far into this back bend. That would not be good. Okay. At the same time, I don't want to be in a tucked position because then I'm cutting off this channel of the hips that connects and allows the energy to flow from the lower half to the upper half. So I want to keep it neutral. Okay. All right. So I've got my weights here. So elbows on the ground, heart open. I'm already prepping here, imagining the block, engaging my abs, finding length in my spine. Okay, and then taking the weight straight up. Okay, I have a ton of flexibility in my shoulders, so there's a lot of challenge here for me to connect with stability without tension. So I'm drawing those shoulder blades toward each other, lengthening the spine, rooting across my feet, letting the weights touch initially. Okay, and then as I incrementally go overhead, I'm connecting with that ab strength, side strength, back engagement. Okay, and then I find it. I'm still drawing energy up from my feet, pulling energy in toward the midline, and then letting my weights separate, starting the movement. On that foam roller, there's more work, more challenge for the abs, for the legs, for the back, for everything. Okay, breathing, keep lengthening. Again, you just want to make sure that it's not the arms that are taking over. The shoulders are definitely part of the work of this, but we want it to be more back, sides, abs. You don't have to alternate. You could be working both arms simultaneously. You could keep the weights connecting. When you're done, the weights come up, so carefully bringing them down. Once you feel, if you're close to the ground, elbows touch the ground, keep your heart lifted as the weights release. And then you can decide, how do you want to exit? Rolling or coming up. So those are pullovers, okay, with two different pieces of equipment. I've seen it a lot demonstrated where the upper back is on a bench and then the rest of the body is off the bench. For me, that would be really unstable because I would have no reference to what my spine is doing. I have from within that sensory awareness, but because I'm so good at inadvertently going into back bends, that I just wouldn't feel very secure with it. So I really like to have that connection to something solid. You could do this on the ground. It would limit some of your range of motion, without any equipment, but really, really a great exercise that gives us a lot of awareness, a lot of feedback and motivation to lengthening the spine and having as good of this postural alignment and awareness that we possibly can. I hope that this was helpful and that you have a great day. Namaste.